Hello everyone, this is Dr. Kishore. This particular session I am going to discuss about the enzyme action. So in this, the previous video which I've made that is related with the basic introduction that I am trying to mention about the nature of the enzymes and their classification in detail. Right, in this particular session, I am going to discuss about various theories which are giving an information about how the enzymes is doing its function. So in this particular thing, I am going to discuss about the three major hypotheses which are later on which is proved, and that is how the enzyme is functioning to increase the reaction, so the rate of the reaction. So you can see here, before we actually see into the basic all the theories which are associated with this, we should understand there are only the few basics which we should understand, that all the enzymes, whatever the enzymes that can be present in the living cell, all are manufactured with the proteins. So definitely manufactured with the proteins. So there is a common thing, this we should understand, that all enzymes are proteins. That is 100% true. But all proteins are not enzymes. This is also you should remember. But there is an exception for this, that is ribozyme and the ribonuclease P. These are all non-protein enzymes. So they don't have the they don't have the enzymes in their nature. Only the RNA is the molecule that is associated with this thing. And the every cell produce its own enzymes, because the enzymes that can be present in the cell that are high molecular weight. So there is no possibility of the enzymes which can be produced in one cell and that can be transferred to the other cell, right? And the maximum enzymes that can be produced in a cell are found in mitochondria, and the smallest enzyme is peroxidase, and the largest enzyme is catalase, and that can found in peroxisomes. And regarding with the enzymes, these are the two terminology which are very important, that is endoenzymes and exoenzymes. Endoenzymes are nothing but these are the intracellular enzymes that can present in the within the cell, and exoenzymes are these are extracellular enzymes. These enzymes are synthesized by the cell and that can be released out from the cell, and where it can be doing its function, right? So there are few enzymes which will be involved in this exoenzyme category. That anyway, here we are not going to be concentrate. At an appropriate time, that I'll explain in an elaborative manner. So we should understand one thing: how enzyme is functional. So this is important, because enzyme, we know as per the definition, enzyme is which is a catalyst that is encourage the reaction to be go for faster rate. That is nothing but increasing of velocity without involving in that particular reaction. That is what the definition of enzyme. So you can see what is happening. The first one, the substrate enter the active site, and I am going to discuss in the coming slide then what is active site and how it is to be present. Initially, the substrate, the right suited substrate, or the right substrate which is going to be bind with the part of the enzyme, that we call active site. And after binding this, definitely there is a transition compound that can be present. One we call enzyme substrate complex. This enzyme substrate complex, it is trying to bring down the activation energy of the reaction. And then if it is bringing down the activation energy, then it can convert it into product, and finally the product is released, right? This is the basic scenario each and every enzyme should follow. Clear? Then you can see the next one. So exactly we can understand about the active site. So what do you mean by this site? So active site, nothing but this is a region within an enzyme that fits the shape of molecule called substrate. So as I discussed that these enzymes these are the macromolecules. So macromolecule mean that is having more number of amino acids, that all amino acids are all the structure which is not to be involved for the binding of substrate. Only certain part or certain region, that is that region you can see in the in the image. So that particular region only the substrate will bind. That particular region we will call it as active site. And there is a one more region that can also be present, that is like a multimeric enzymes. There are other classification. This is depending on their functionality, multimeric enzymes and monomeric enzymes. Multimeric enzymes are nothing but these are the combination of enzymes will together work on the substrates. So on multimeric enzymes, there will be other site that can also be present. We call it as allosteric site, right? But don't bother at this point what is allosteric site and how it can help the enzyme to be doing all these things, right? So here you should be just remember about the substrate, that is active site. How the substrate, you take the substrate that can only bind with a certain portion of the enzyme, that particular region we will call it as active site. And this active site contains an amino acids, and that are only few amino acids. These amino acids are roughly 3 to 12 amino acids that all together will form the active site and release the product when the reaction is completed. And if it is to be a right substrate, and it can lower down the activation energy and that can convert it into product. And if the product is formed, and that is to be released from the active site. And you can also be see there will be some exceptional cases where more than one active site that can also be possible for the enzymes. And the important thing is the rest of other amino acids other than active site amino acid, which are important to maintain the structural part of the enzymes. It's clear. So active site is actually that can catalyze the enzyme, and the rest of the part that can maintain the structure of the enzyme. Clear? Then, so based on that, there are three different theories which are explained about the mechanism of action, mechanism of enzyme action. Clear? So among them, the first important theory is that is lock and key theory. So this lock and key theory, which is given by the Emil Fischer in 1890. So you can see him. So the Emil Fischer has first proposed about the enzyme mechanism or mechanism of enzyme. So here this lock and key theory is very famous, and even though there will be not 100% true in case of the mechanism of action, but this is the one which is finally given the idea how the enzyme can convert, how the enzyme is involved to make the reaction is very faster, right? So you just see here, this is a very simple concept. So you can see here the green color is key and yellow color is lock. So if you take the right key to open the lock is important. If you take the wrong key, definitely the lock will not to be open. So this is how exactly the key is substrate and lock is enzyme. So if the right substrate bind to the enzyme only, the enzyme at the active site only, it can try to convert into the product. Otherwise, it won't convert into product, right? Incorrect substrate, if it is go and bind to the enzyme, there is no reaction at all in enzyme. So finally, the substrate will be released. This is what exactly the lock and key theory which is explained. That is, an exact fit between the enzyme and substrate. The enzyme work with one specific substrate. This can tells the about specificity of the enzyme. That is important. Why still, even though this concept is not 100% true, but why this mechanism we are still reading, because that is important. This is given an idea that each and every enzyme should have its own specificity, that is, which is only specific towards particular substrate. Clear? This is Lock-and-key theory. And coming to the second theory, that is induced fit model, and this is to be little more improved model when compared to the Lock-and-key. And this was proposed by the Daniel Koshland, 1958. So according to this theory, so where and previously the lock is enzyme which is rigid, so there is no change. But here, according to this induced fit model, the enzyme is not rigid. So when the appropriate substrate is coming and approaching towards the enzyme, if it is to be an appropriate substrate, according to that, this enzyme is modulated and it is going to be bind that particular substrate and making to be product. That's what which is to be given in the induced fit model. So here only one basic difference that we should understand here, the enzyme is not rigid. So the place where the substrate binding is not, which is not prefixed. So that is always keep on changing when the substrate coming. So this is the substrate when it is approaching towards the enzyme, then according to that the enzyme is reorganized and reoriented, then it can bind to the substrate and after that it can convert it into the product. This is the main concept of this induced fit model, and which is a major difference between the Lock-and-key model and this induced fit model. And coming to the last theory, which is related with the enzyme action, that is nothing but transition state theory. So nowadays which is to be widely accepted, that is transition state theory. So the transition state theory, which is to be very simple. So you can see ABC here, which I have mentioned in the diagram. So the substrate is a stick, metal stick, and transition state is nothing but which has to be bent, and the product is nothing but which has to be break down into two pieces. If you take the activation energy, that is to be very high in the case of A. Clear? Then if you see B, this is magnet. So if you take the magnet, which is somewhat it's trying to bend the metal, but that in this particular case the activation energy will be lowered. That is not completely lowered, that can decrease when compared with the A. Right? That A is nothing but the A diagram. Clear? And in case of the C, what will happen? Here the enzyme that can bind to this metal stick and which is trying to bend the metal stick, enzyme itself, and finally it can break the metal stick into two pieces. This is nothing but transition state theory. So here it is converting into the two metal pieces, where exactly what is the thing which is going to be happen? That is nothing but it can completely reduce the activation energy. You can see here the blue color line. So if you take the first diagram, the black one, which is to be very high activation energy, you take the B, where the activation energy will be little decreased, and see this is completely decreased. So that's how the enzyme can do any kind of the substrate. Clear? So this can explain about the activation state theory, and this is to be widely accepted theory, and this is to be important for here. We should understand only one thing, that is it can be decreasing the activation energy when compared to the all the two other previous theories. Clear? All right. So friends, so far we discussed about the active site and the active site properties we discussed, and we also discussed about the lock and key model and induced fit theory and transition state theory. These are the different theories that explained about how enzyme is going to convert the product after binding of substrate. So friends, the next coming video will try to see in the various aspects of the enzymes, that is like what is Michael-Menten equation, and what are the factors that can contribute this activity, and what are the inhibitions, different type of inhibitions. These are the different things which we are going to see in the coming videos. So friends, take care and bye bye.